Hello, hello there, my crafty friends. It's Candy here from sweetstamper.com, and I am here on a Friday night at 7 o'clock. Very unusual for me. I'm a 2 o'clock in the afternoon girl, usually with my Facebook Lives, but tomorrow is World Card Making Day. Hi, Cynthia. I'm so glad you're joining me. Tomorrow is officially World Card Making Day, and I'm actually doing a live class to celebrate that. Hi, Gail. But I wanted to also do an online class so that those of you who can't gather with me in person would be able to enjoy a class with me. Hi, Beverly. So I just decided that the best way to go about this, hi, Jackie, was to do a free class and to do it on Facebook Live and do it on a Friday night when a lot of us have a little bit of downtime. Hey, Judy. And some of you opted in for your card kit that came in the mail. Hi, Susan. And so if you have a card kit, you can stamp right along with me. Hi, Linda. And if you don't, then pay attention, write down the measurements and things like that. And we will just have a lot of fun together. So I do have a little bit of an ordering special for you. And I am going to beg your indulgence for the first couple of minutes. Because we're in the evening, I knew that I would need some special lighting, and I also knew, hi Pam, that I was going to be demonstrating 4 cards, so I was probably going to be on here a little bit longer than I typically am. So I needed to sit, and so I've got my setup here. Usually I stand when I'm doing Facebook Live. So I've got everything kind of repositioned here a little bit. So when I bring the camera down, I don't know exactly what we're gonna get. So let me pull you up. I've got lots of cords over here because the other thing is, I figured that if I went beyond what I normally go, my phone battery might die. So I've got my phone on the cord being charged while I am filming so that we don't lose anything. Okay, so no telling what you're gonna see when I bring the camera down, but here we go. Close your eyes for just a minute while I get it set. Whoa. All you can see is my belly probably. Whew. Okay. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. I think I just need to come forward a little bit. There we go. Not too bad. Okay, you can see my host code. I do have a host code special for you. So if you, this is actually my September host code, and I haven't changed it out yet. So I've got a, over the, in the next 24 hours, if you want to place an order of $25 or more, I will send you the PDF tutorials for all 4 of the cards. And I just realized when I sat down that I forgot to bring the designer paper over here. So I will pop over and get that really quick while you're getting settled in as well. Give me just a moment. 2 things I forgot that are kind of important. So when I designed this Angels of Peace card class, I opted to go with what I think is gorgeous. It's called Simply Elegant, and it is, let's see, it is this designer series paper, and this is in our annual catalog. Let's see. And it's really, really beautiful. Now, I actually cut all of these pieces here in the wrong direction, but I'm going to use this and just kind of show you the versatility of it. So if you got a class by mail, you would have gotten this cut in the other direction. So it is something you have to think about when you're cutting your paper, that it is sometimes directional, and what that means is, like this one, the diamonds can go honestly either direction and they'll be fine. I think that might be a little bit too much light. Let me see. Let's see. Okay, I'm thinking that might Might have been too much of a good thing on that light. Let's see. Nope, now I've got too little. Okay, let me just move my light. I think it's kind of bleaching things out just a wee bit. Okay, let's try it over here and see if that's a little bit better. This is very shiny paper. It's a specialty paper, so it has lots of silver and gold and copper, which is kind of interesting, the way that they've combined them. So on this particular paper, let me just show you before I demonstrate this one. This particular paper is where you're going to really notice it. You see how my original I cut on the vertical. The one I'm going to do tonight is going to be on the horizontal. And that's going to be okay. I think you'll see. But if you got a card kit in the mail, yours is correctly done. Oh, Paulina, thank you for that. My cards are elegant. That actually is kind of the way I tend to run when it comes to design work. Really glad that Rosie is here with us tonight. She's actually in hospital, so I'm glad that we can give her a little bit of comfort and cheer while she is recuperating and getting well. Okay, let's get going. I'm going to start with this young girl right here. And let me just highlight the stamp set for just a minute. I think it's really outstanding. I think the artwork is really gorgeous. And what I like about it is that you have these beautiful, beautiful, the images have, both the angels, the artwork is really exquisite. And then you've got greetings that go with Christmas, but there's some that go beyond Christmas. So I developed 2 cards that go with Christmas for this class and 2 cards that are just kind of like, you're awesome, you're a great friend kind of cards. So it is a $21 stamp set. It is a red rubber stamp set, and I think it's well worth adding to your collection. So let's start with the young girl. You know, I think that she's lovely, and although she is holding some holly, if you look closely, I don't think that you have to associate this particular card with Christmas. And I'll show you what I mean. Oh, I've also forgot. Okay, got to get 2 more things. And I got a lot of cords here to move around. Hold on 1 second. Getting all my ducks in a row. Let's see. I knew this was going to be a little bit challenging for me, only in the sense that I'm doing a class tomorrow. And so I have a lot of stuff packed up. We're doing 6 different cards at my in-person event. So I've got lots of stuff packed up. Do it that way and see if it glares a little bit less. Hey, Jeanette, I'm glad you are here with us. So let's start with this little kit. And I was actually just going to mention Jeanette because I think she had a fantastic idea. Now for this particular card, this is a portrait style card, and I am going to use the top fold. You know, there are benefits to both the side fold and the top fold, and I use both, and I use them both extensively. So I think it really kind of depends on your preference. This is a 4x6 piece, so everybody got a 4x6 piece of this particular paper in their card kit. And that way, even though you're only going to use 4 pieces, you have an example of all of them. And that was a sampling of them all. And that was what I wanted. So we need a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece, and that is going to be our layer. Tuck that probably on the inside. And we are going to start with a pretty standard layer of 5 1/4 by 4. And I know I brought my seal. There it is. And you know, you can use either your seal or you can use your liquid glue on this. But I do recommend seal when it comes to the vellum, and I'll show you why. When you're using vellum, you really kind of have to be mindful. Now, let me just show you before I turn this over. This is definitely basic gray. Really, you know, that has adhesive. The gold and the gray are not bad together. So you could go in that direction, but I wanted to go with this really, really soft background. Lots of very vanilla, which is just super elegant. And I love vanilla with gold. I think it is a better look. Let's see, this is gonna bug me. This needs to come down, and I think this needs to come up. Am I too far up or too far down? No, here, okay. Now, when you go to attach this piece here, you want to do it with a dry adhesive, because a wet, you know, if you use your liquid glue, it doesn't work well with vellum. This is the gold shimmer vellum. It's in the holiday book, and I think it's really gorgeous. So that is going to go there, and I don't want any of my adhesive to show. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put adhesive in the center, because I'm going to be putting things on top there. So just in the middle, and all of that is going to be covered up, so I don't need to worry about my adhesive showing. Okay, there we go. Now, here's my other pieces. I went with a super, super simple stamping on this. Now, these are the Tasteful Label dies. If you don't have these for your collection yet, I highly recommend that you get them. And you'll notice, oh, no, this is from, I picked up the wrong lens. This is from, I think this is from Stitched So Sweetly. What I'm trying to point out is there's ever so light, there's a little bevel all the way around that edge. And that tells you that although you could use this side if you messed up the other side, that little bevel is just a nice little touch. So we are going to use one ink pad on all 4 cards tonight, and I really love soft suede when you're using gold. It's like the perfect medium brown. So let's stamp her right in the middle, and then we are going to just color her hair a little bit. And I opted to go, well, before I do her hair, let's do the wings first. This is something I really like doing when you have soft suede ink. If you take your Wink of Stella, and preferably when the ink is still a little bit wet, and you just start pulling some of that soft suede ink from the detailing of the wing in, what's going to happen is that you're going to get a little bit of a buff color, and so it adds just a hint of color. And the way it does that is it is actually pulling color from the detailing of the wing, and I think it's just a lovely way to add just a hint of color and not too much. Hi Peggy, I'm so glad you're joining us. Now I used 2 different sets of blends with these cards, and I used both the soft suede and the So Saffron. I wanted to, my original, I did my little girl with I made her a brunette. Now you could give her any color of hair that you want. You could also, I left her skin just the vanilla color. If you want to, I did a whole video probably about a year ago on different skin tones you can create with your blends. So you could make her any race that you wanted to make her, and just by using a little bit of color on her arm and on her face. So that is another option that you can do. And I'm going to just do her hair. Now you could come in here and you could do her, you could do the flowers, and you could make, you know, more color. But I think sometimes this all neutral color palette, less is more, because it really keeps the attention on the artwork itself. Now, what I was going to mention with regard to Jeanette, who was on here a minute ago, I think she's probably still here, is that she had, when she saw this, she said, you know, this would make a lovely sympathy card for a child. And I thought that was amazing. She's a retired nurse, and she used to work pediatric oncology, which I cannot even imagine. But, you know, this is the reality. There are children who die. And I think also, hi, Susie. I think also we have friends and family members who have miscarriages. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful image for a sympathy card. And I never would have thought of that if Jeanette had not shared that. So hats off to Jeanette for being dialed into that community from her work within that. And I thought that was just a beautiful way to extend this stamp set. So really, it's pretty just the way it is, but we're going to add a little bit more to just make it even prettier and to make it a little bit fancier, because we have that really fancy paper. Now, if anybody has a better way to open these little, boy, when these are brand new, it is a little bit tough. So those of you who received your card kit by mail, you got, I'm just going to cut this, and I'm probably going to regret it, but, you know, c'est la vie. This is the scalloped, very vanilla lace trim, and I am going to take a fairly good piece of it, and I'm going to wrap it all the way around. And the reason I'm doing this is because it's going to add to the elegance of this card, and it's going to be, you know, I don't want anything on this card to be chinchy, or, no, not chin, probably chinchy is the wrong word, to be, what's the word I'm looking for? To be to be adequate. I want it to be a little bit extravagant, because that is the essence of this elegant look. So we have just a simple knot here, and we're going to trim the ends. Now, if that end is going where you don't want it to and covering her up, what you can do is you can come alongside here and you can take a mini glue dot, and I'm just going to roll it so that it's half the size. And I'm going to tuck it right there so that, or maybe I'm going to bring it over a little bit farther, so that the tail, my ribbon tail, will be a little bit more, it's going to stay where I want it to, and I'm going to trim it down a little bit more. So now it's staying right where I've positioned it, just by adding a little glue dot underneath the tail. I think a lot of times we think about putting a glue dot underneath the knot, but we don't do it on the tail. So now I've got a couple more things I'm going to do. I'm going to add my greeting, and I should have here, it was in my envelope. Let's see. Hopefully I have my little greeting tag. I don't see the tag. Lovely. Well, I have a kit that's not complete, and I have extra tags. Let's see if I can find one in my little box of goodies here. I hope you're having a lovely, relaxing evening, and that I'm providing a little bit of entertainment for that. I'm actually going to pull one out of my other packet, and I'm going to go ahead and do Peace on Earth, Goodwill Toward Men. Now, because I am using this Christmas greeting, it would be super easy to go in here and pop a little bit of red flowers in her hair, to do a little bit of green on the holly leaves if you wanted. But I think sometimes, you know, again, less is more. It's under the markers. Thank you. God bless you, Jackie. Okay, Peace on Earth, Goodwill Toward Men. Now I'm going to stamp it over here just to make sure that when I stamp it on here, I'm going to be going the right direction. Okay, and that little tag is just going to go right here. Just going to sit right there. And in order to do that, I'm going to pop one dimensional under down here. And then I'm going to put a little bit of seal on the rest of it. So that's where I want my dimensional, and this is where I want my seal. And that's it. And I'm just going to pop it right there. I want to make sure that I have all of these elements showing. So you've got the lace showing. Now my original, I covered up the lace a little bit more, but you know, it just, you know, small differences. And then these are the gorgeous, aren't they gorgeous? These are the little gold holly leaves that are in the mini catalog. I think you get a package of, I don't know, it's about 24. And they're a couple of different sizes, and they're really lovely. They're not gaudy. So sometimes gold can be a little bit gaudy. This is not gaudy at all. It's just lovely. And this is one of the smaller ones. So in your kit, you may have gotten a large one or a small one. They're different sizes, and I'm just going to tuck it right under there. Just a little piece of holly, and that's kind of my tie-in for Christmas on this one. And then I have somewhere here, I do have my blingy diamonds. Where are my rhinestones? Diamonds are a girl's best friend, so they say. Here we go. And I just felt that you don't want to add any color here because we've got a very neutral color palette. And so the silver rhinestones, to me, they mimic almost like stars. And so they're going to be just the ticket to give us just a little bit of shine without overpowering the shine of this lovely gold shimmer vellum. I believe it's $5. It might be $6, but you get 2 sheets of 12 by 12. And it is such a subtle, such a lovely shimmer. And I'm sure I've used it for the most part in little panels like this, but I'm sure that you could make like snowflakes with it. I'm sure anything that you cut out, like intricate dies, would probably be really beautiful. There, and then I'm going to take one more and put it right there on my, and then I think what I'm going to do is I had this little piece of designer series paper left over when I cut, and I think I'm just going to pop it down on the inside because why not? And that gives me just a little bit. Now this stamp set, because it's not a Christmas stamp set per se, doesn't have a huge amount of greetings. You could easily put a Christmas greeting inside there if you wanted to, you know, because this is Peace on Earth, Goodwill Toward Men. To me, you could use this for a card to send someone during the holidays, or you could use it as an actual full-on Christmas card. If I were doing that, I definitely would put Merry Christmas on the inside. But this is a really nice, I think during the holidays as well, I try to think of my friends and family who have lost a loved one either during the year or right around the holidays, because the holidays can be a little bit bittersweet for them. And so, like, I have several friends that are young widows, and or even just widows in general. And so this is a lovely card just to say, hey, I'm thinking about you during this season. So there's card number 1, Peace on Earth, Goodwill Toward Men. This is a 4x3 piece of the shimmer vellum, and this is 5 1/4 by 4 on the designer series paper. Okay, now we are going to switch gears, and we are going to go to the large angel, and she is a good-sized angel. I mean that in the nicest way possible. And you do need this large block for that, which I think is block E. And you'll see sometimes, I used to use these large butterflies, and then I started moving to these smaller ones. And that's because when you're doing live classes or you're stamping with friends, It's really good to be able to mark your stuff, because otherwise it gets mixed up with other people's, and they don't mean to, but somebody will end up walking out with your stuff and you'll have their stuff, and it's just a good thing to mark your supplies. So once again, I'm doing a top fold, and let me see where I put my, there it is. And I am doing something different with the shimmer vellum this time. I ran the shimmer vellum through the Merry Melody embossing folder, and now it is absolutely exquisite, and I have all these lovely music notes. And am I right side up or upside? Yeah, there we go. One of the things that's great about this is happy card crafting eve to all of you. I love that, Cherry Lynn. When you have all of this embossing on here, you really can't see the seal. So when you're using regular vellum, it will show through. I will say this shimmer vellum, it doesn't show through as much, but particularly when you have all of that pretty, which way is right side up? You'd never know I was a music major. Okay, I think we are, there was a way I could tell. Okay, we're going with this. I actually read music, but you'd never know it. But anyway, that is going to go there. And then we are going to take and use the same method that we did before. And that is, we are going to stamp our angel in soft suede, and we are going to color her wings just by using Wink of Stella, not adding any ink at all. Just pulling some of the soft suede ink into the center of her wings. So just by pulling that color, it's going to give me a lovely, just beigey, shimmery shade for my wings. Ever so pretty. Now you do sometimes on these line art stamped images, you kind of have to look to see where is her hair, where is her arm, and things like that. Now on my original, and I'm going to go ahead and do it on this one too, I did go ahead and because my last angel was brunette, I made this one blonde, and I'm going to use the So Saffron. So Saffron is a warm yellow, and that is going to work best when you're using your browns. So if you try to use Daffodil Delight, it's a little bit bright. So I want this to be soft. Oh, I forgot her other wing on the other side. Here we go. Oh, Iris, your son is in the Marine Band, and so you're going to make a card for him with this. This will be a perfect fit for a card for him. And although technically, I guess if you're looking closely, this is Joy to the World is the music here, but I think honestly you could use it year-round as a background. I don't think people are going to really be looking too much at the notes of the music when they are when they're looking at your card. Now I did want to highlight this bird, and again, just keeping with my neutral color palette, so I'm just using the light soft suede and just getting close to his eye but not coloring his eye so that it stands out just a little bit. And you can see I just touched it, you know, you don't need a lot there. And then she is just about done. So you see how easy, you don't have to go and do a lot with the angel. She's so pretty. Now one thing you can do, and I didn't on my originals, but you know, when you're in this kind of a setting, you can do all kinds of extra little bits. Somewhere in my little bag of tricks here, I'm sure I put, yes. You know, these two markers, blends, the bronze and the ivory, are you know, they're just kind of neutral colors. You could use the bronze in place of the soft suede if you wanted. And the ivory, I find a little bit dark for skin, but you could put just a little touch, just a little bit of rouge on her cheek, and it gives just a little bit of definition there. And then I want to, again, use my soft suede ink, and I think, sorry about the arm going right in the middle of the camera. I believe that I did, let's see, where's my original? Oh, yes. I'm going to put the You're an Angel over here. Now see, I could send this to anybody at any time of year, and that's what I love about this stamp set. I think it's really, really brilliant the way Stampin' Up! Did this. So I'm not using any designer series paper at all on this one. Just the shimmer vellum, but it is so pretty. Now I don't need this stamp again. And now I'm going to bring in this star, the single large star, and I'm just going to stamp it right over here. You're an Angel. Ah, I got a halo on it. Phooey, 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 and I bet I don't have a spare in here. Well, you know, this is what happens. It is live TV, people. You know what I am going to do? I may hate this. We'll see. Let's see what I can come up with really quick. Oh, here's my scissors. I think I'm going to just trim it. And we can put an extra little something there. We'll figure it out. Okay, this comes when you're using red rubber stamps. You see how that picked up ink on the edge there? That's called being heavy-handed when you are putting your stamp into the ink pad. Hey Diana, I'm glad you've joined us tonight. Okay, so let's see if I can make lemonade out of my lemons there on my little tag. Okay, so once again, I am going to take my very vanilla lace trim, scalloped lace trim, and this time I'm going to be really extravagant and I'm going to make a bow. And again, if you don't like making bows, you could easily do what I did on the first card, and that is to make a simple knot over here. But I thought, well, let's just be extravagant and let's make a bow. This ribbon does tie very nicely. You know, I probably ought to bring this down a little bit because it's going to be up too high. I'm so glad you've decided to spend your Friday night with me. Tomorrow is World Card Making Day. Can you believe it? And World Card Making Day has actually been going for quite a while. Can't remember how many years exactly, but it is there to, number one, bring attention and highlight this craft that we love, and also to kind of encourage us to reach out to those who maybe have not yet discovered the joys of card making. So maybe you're going to stamp with somebody tomorrow. And I've got quite a few somebodies coming to my little event. And so what I decided to do is everybody's making a card for free when you come in, and then I have a class. And the class is $20 or free with a minimum order. And the method in my madness there was if you had a friend that wanted to come just stop by and just try out making a card, they could do that for free. So that was the method in my madness there. Okay, now I need some dimensionals. Haha, there they are. So because of the way my angel is going to be positioned, I need some dimensionals down at the bottom and then at the top and then right up near her body. Because again, we don't want any saggy middles. Saggy middles are not attractive. So Paulina, you think it's not being extravagant, it's just classy. Well, I like that kind of thinking because it is. It is. It's, you know, this lace is very, it's very delicate. And now, Paulina, you can help me with my wording here. The veil that is worn in many of the churches in South America. Paulina's originally from Panama, and I actually spent a little bit of my childhood in Panama and more of my childhood in Venezuela. My dad was with the military. And I want to say my Spanish is really rusty, and I haven't used this word in like decades, but I think it's like a mantilla. I think that's the word. And it's a lace head covering that a woman wears in church. And this is what this makes me think of. It's just delicate and so pretty. Okay, so now let's bring in our little, and again, I'm going to do it a little bit different position than my original. And I don't have them over here because I've got my kit packed for tomorrow, but let me grab a mini, I need a mini dimensional. So let's see. Grab one here. You know, I don't use the mini dimensionals as much as the regulars, but they really come in handy when you need them. I want just a little bit of dimensional right there because my angel is popped up and I don't want that side to sag. Yeah, the angels with the gold papers, you know, to me, angels, I'm thinking of heaven. I want an ethereal look, and that's kind of what I was going for here. You could do blues, you could do purples, but I think this is really, really classic, and I think that you can't go wrong with this kind of an application. So I have my little messed up tag, but I think it honestly looks okay. Here's my original, and you can see where the tag is not messed up. And again, you can see where on my original, my lace trim is up a little bit higher. And because of that, I put the tag below. Here I put it above. Just little details. And then I am going to grab this kind of medium-sized, there we go. I need to get my, like I said, my pick-a tool. Everything is packed up for tomorrow. And that is that card. Simple, lovely. And I honestly think that where I messed up on that, I don't think it looks up, because it looks like it's kind of going into the folds of her gown. So I'm happy with that. Somebody's going to get that in the mail. Now, what I could do, if I'm going to be really, really brave, oh, you know what? I won't use this one again. Not just because I messed it up, but it's kind of meant to be used singly. But I think what I will do is take these small, let me show you what I'm doing here. Here's my stamp set, and I'm going to get these little stars because I think that's going to be really cute on the inside. Because I didn't use any designer series paper on this one. So, I mean, if you wanted to make this into a Christmas card, you could easily do that and just use a slightly different, you know, use one of the other greetings. But really, really easy. But isn't that a lovely card for somebody who's done something special for you or somebody that you think is just special? You're an angel. I love that. So I just put a few little stars on the inside. That's it. It gives it that extra little touch. And I love when you have these stamp sets that have so many nice images. I love to utilize them all. Okay, we are moving along. Now, we are going to use the little angel once again. And this time, we're going to do something that I don't do a lot of, but sometimes it's worth it. And I'm going to fussy cut. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with, this time we're doing what's sometimes known as a landscape style card. So I'm doing a side, well, it's going to be top fold coming from landscape direction. Somewhere I have my little, I have a bone folder in here somewhere. It is in here somewhere. Let's see. See if I can bring my arm right across the camera again. Really unattractive. Oh, Iris. Yeah, the simple touches, you're right. They do mean a lot. Oh, Paulina, I was right. It is a mantilla. Okay. So now you know where I was going with that. Where is it? Somewhere there is a, you know what I'm going to do? Here we go. This is what you do when you can't find your bone folder. You just use a blend. Okay, I need to cut this piece of Designer Series paper. I will tell you, this is probably my favorite in this set. I mean, look at that lace. And to me, when you take that lace that's on here, all of that pretty gold lace, and then you take this lace here, I mean, you just have the essence of elegance, but it's subtle. It's not gaudiness. It is true elegance, and I just love it. So again, this was a 4x6 piece that you got, and I'm going to trim this down to 5 1/4 by 4. Let me pull this out. I don't know how that got left in there. And that is going to give me a nice layer. And yeah, Paulina, I agree. I don't like to fussy cut. It's not my thing. But I will say, I'm gonna fussy cut this little angel twice, and I'll show you why. The details are not such that it makes it difficult to fussy cut. So that's kind of my rule of thumb is if you really need to fussy cut, it needs to be a pretty simple, whoopsie, I just dropped something. Okay, another tag. And this is the I think it's called the Fancy Label Punch. It's a really nice little, I used it throughout this stack of cards. It just has those little edges. I think it's lovely. So again, if you wanted to go gold and gray, you could. But of course, how can I cover that up? I mean, that's the really gorgeous side. When I looked at these papers, I thought, oh, the B side is really pretty, but I'm going to go with the shiny side on every one of these. I think they're beautiful. So there we have that. And then we are going to layer this right on. And let's not live, yeah, we're going to live dangerously here. But it kind of is necessary because of the way that you're going to, position everything. So this little piece is going to nestle right down inside here. And this is from this Stitched So Sweetly is the name of these dies. And I'm just going to do this flat because I want to pop the angel up. And personally, I like there to be a variation in the heights on my cards. So I want some to be raised and some to not be raised. And that gives me, you want to have, I just raised the angel because I really want her to be front and center. I want her to have the most attention, as it were. Okay, so here's my scrap that I'm going to use to stamp my angel. And once again, I'm getting out my soft suede, perfect color for this. And before I cut this out, again, because I like to grab that ink while it's still really fresh, so I'm going to pull in my Wink of Stella and pull some of that ink right in there. And this works much better when the ink is fresh. Once it's dried, it's really hard to pull it. The other thing is when you're coloring on this, it's much easier than when you're coloring on a really tiny piece. Now again, just kind of looking at what I'm going to do with my angel. Yeah, you're right, Jeanette. Stampin' Up! Gives us really pretty shiny papers. I'm going to come in and I'm making her a brunette once again. And this time, instead of leaving her gown, I'm going to bring in the light So Saffron, and I'm going to color it. Just give it, So Saffron, this is a little bit more of a
kind of an apricot-y yellow. Not as yellow as not as orange as an apricot, but yeah, it's a more golden yellow. Daffodil Delight's a very clear yellow. So that is going to really make my angel come alive, as it were. So now let me show you how easy this is to cut. Now when you fussy cut, the rule of thumb is that you want to keep your scissors pretty straight and just move the paper. So I'm right-handed, so I'm moving the paper with my left hand. And see, I'm just going to go in a little bit. I'm not going to go way up inside there. That's just not necessary. And just leave a nice little border. And I already see a little piece that I didn't get colored. So I can go back. And see, these are, because they're very rounded edges, I don't have to do a lot of fancy footwork with my, but I wanted her to pop up. I wanted her to be really popped up, and I wanted to have that gold behind her. So she's like coming right out of heaven, or she's actually in heaven. So, oh, there was one little piece of her wing that I didn't get fully winked. Okay, so now here's my card, and this is where she's going to go. Isn't she lovely? I think she's just perfect. Absolute perfection. Now what I'm going to do, and I don't typically do this, but I do think for positioning it's a little bit easier. I wanted to put a couple of these little stars up here, and it's easier for me to do it once I know where she's going to be. Then I can come in here with my little star stamp and just do that a couple of times. And it will take a little bit of time for that to dry, but it will dry really nicely on that vellum. Now I have a little tag here, the same one I've been using, but this time I did it in Very Vanilla. And this time I'm going to use this lovely, lovely sentiment for the holidays. And it is blessings to you and yours this season and in the coming year. Really, really lovely sentiment. Let me clean this stamp so I can get another stamp on this block. A lot of my blocks are packed up for tomorrow, so I'm having to do what I typically don't, and that's having to move my stamps and blocks around a little bit. Once I sit down to stamp, I typically want to just be able to grab and go. That's why I used to love our wood mount stamps, because I like to just grab the stamp and go. I don't want to have to mess with putting it on a block, but yeah, I'm a lazy stamper. Oh, I went uphill. Okay, let's see if I can try again. I'm still uphill. Blessings to you and yours. Let's see. I think I can actually get away with it. Which side is worse? I think it'll be okay. There's going to be so much pretty stuff I don't think you'll notice. So again, I am going to stick this just down. I'm just going to stick it down. And I'm going to bring it right to, oh, I guess it helps if it's right side up. I'm going to bring it right to the edge. And then this time, instead of wrapping the ink around, not the ink, wrapping the lace trim around, I'm going to just make a simple bow. And you do it just like you're tying your shoes. Because once you get the bow done, I'm not worried about how it looks at all, then I make it pretty. So now that I have the bow done, I can bring the tails down a little bit and just make it about the size and shape that I want it to be. Super, super simple. There we go. There we go. And now I am going to pop this right here, And it gives just that, you know, nothing is overpowering. We want everything to be in its place, as it were. I guess I do need to put her down. Where are my regular dimensionals? Are here. So let's give her several so that she stays right where I want her to be. I'm afraid my lamp is really causing that foil paper is kind of glaring, but it's a little bit difficult for it to not glare because we got to have some light. Okay, and I specifically did not want this like right in the middle. I wanted it down a little bit so that otherwise everything is a little bit too matchy-matchy for me. So now I'm going to grab one of these mini glue dots right there and pop it right there. And then, oh, my tails are even just, I don't even have to trim them again. And now I am going to grab a couple of these rhinestones and I'm going to make my stars really, really shine. I hope you're falling in love with this stamp set because I think it should definitely go on your next order. And remember, I have a little ordering special if you order in the next 24 hours. With my host code, you'll get the instructions, the PDF tutorials for all of these, get the measurements, all the supplies, everything laid out for you. Makes it super easy then to just download, print, and not only do you have these that you can make, but you can use these as templates for other cards as well. So that I could take, and I think I will. There's my little scrap of designer series paper. Why not pop it on the inside and just give a little bit of that gold lace, as it were, to the inside of my card. Boom. Blessings to you and yours. Now let me look at it in the camera and see if my greeting, oh yeah, you can kind of tell it's a little bit cattywampus. I went uphill a little bit. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's a handmade card. And I do try to remember that. It doesn't have to be perfect. I want it to look like I made it. Not look like a kindergartner made it. I love those cards when they come from my grandchildren, but not from me. Okay, home stretch. This is our last of the 4 cards. And you can see how quick they are to put together. I mean, I think they're really lovely cards, but they don't take much time at all. And that's kind of my thing. I'm a quick and easy girl at heart, but I do love that elegant touch, that touch of class. It's really, that's my vibe. That's what I love. Now, I don't need this star stamp anymore, so let's go ahead and clean that one. And hey, Stella, I'm glad you're liking my cards. They're super fun to make, very relaxing. So now I'm going to take that same shimmer vellum, and this is 5 1/4 by 4. And I am going to, once again, pop this down. This is our standard layer that we use more often than any other measurement, 5 1/4 by 4. And it's going to go, this is another top fold card, and ooh, I've got a little smudge there. Let's turn it over. We'll put that smudge on the back. Make sure I don't have any ink on my fingers, because when you're using very vanilla or basic white, you do need to be mindful that you're not transferring the ink to your cardstock unwittingly. Okay. This time, I'm going to use this piece of paper, and you can see that I cut it on where it would go this way. But, c'est la vie, we're going to use it anyway. And this is what I'm going to do. I need 2 pieces at 4 by 3 3/4. Sorry, 2 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and make my 2, this is a 4 by 6 inch piece. Everybody got a sampling of this beautiful, beautiful designer series paper. And I will say as well, you know, sometimes at this time of the holiday catalog, everything in the holiday catalog is on back order, or so it seems. It's really not, but it kind of seems that way. And we're having, like other companies, we're having global shipping issues where we're having trouble getting things here in a timely manner. But you know what? If you just go to the main catalog, the annual catalog, most of those things are not on back order because everybody's all excited about the new and the shiny and what everything, you know, we always go towards what's brand new. But the things that are in the annual catalog, and I used annual catalog designer series paper, I used annual catalog ribbon, and I used annual catalog embellishments by way of rhinestones. So you have no trouble ordering the supplies for these, which that was the method in my madness. Now I'm going to put these right here, and you see, I think it's going to be okay. In my original, they were going up, you know, well, the pattern, I'll show you in a minute. So let's go ahead and put this down. And again, this is 3 3/4 by 2, and I'm going to put one down here, and then one up at the top, and then we're going to bring out this. We're making good use of this vanilla trim. But if you want to make some really luxurious looking cards, this is your ticket. Now where did my very vanilla trim, did I put it away in my little bucket? No. Right in front of me. I will say as well, this is a set of 4 cards that I created, and this would make a lovely gift. Sometimes we forget that our handmade cards make lovely gifts, even for people who are crafters. You may have a stamping friend, and you think, well, you know, she already makes her own cards. She would still love to have a set of cards from you, guarantee it. So once again, I'm going to take, yes, Marlene, this is all being recorded, so this will be able to be replayed. And so my team, I did send my team all of the PDF tutorials earlier today, because they do get my card classes, the tutorials for my card classes, without paying for them. It's, you know, perk of being a Southern Sweet Stamper. Love my team. We are a lovely bunch of stamping friends, and we just like to inspire each other and share together and hang out together and show off our creativity to one another. Okay, so that is my backdrop. Now I'm going to take this piece here, and this is going to go right over here. So you see how that's going to be my little, yeah, you can't even tell that these are going in the wrong direction. Because to be honest, it's not really a right and wrong, but I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Okay, let's stamp our large angel first. And this is going to be another card that is just for someone special. This is not a holiday card. And I'm going to use both angels this time. I'm going to put my larger angel right here on the edge of my cardstock. And once again, I'm going to grab my Wink of Stella, and I'm going to blend out some of that soft suede ink so that I get this lovely, lovely glittery beige for her wings. And there is a little piece of wing right up here, and this Wink of Stella is almost gone. Got a little tiny bit left. I think I'm going to have to toss this one when I'm done and get out a new one. They do last a long time. And I often think, you know, to me, the way they're packaged reminds me of mascara or eyeliner, like a liquid eyeliner. So once again, I am going to make blonde angels this time out of both of them. And I will do the dark, I'm going to use the dark So Saffron for my adult angel, and I'm going to use the light So Saffron for my child angel. Not a big difference, just a little one, you know. Again, sometimes those little touches make a big difference. Now I'm going to set her aside, and I'm going to bring out the small angel once again, and I'm going to stamp her here. And I am going to blend out her wing. You can only see one. She has two wings, but you only see one because of her position. So that comes together very easily, very quickly. And then I am going to bring in the light saffron for her hair. And it comes out a little bit dark when you first put it on here, but it's going to dry lighter. And honestly, I wanted it just to be really subtle. And again, if you came on later, if you want to, you can easily take your angels and you can make them any skin tone that you like. So you can have your angels with more of a golden brown skin. You can give them a really dark mahogany skin. You can do any color skin you want on your angels. Now, before I put my ink pad up, I'm going to go ahead and stamp. This is a lovely, lovely greeting that would be a real blessing to anybody that you sent it to. Let me clean my stamp so I can get my block. And here we go. Sometimes angels are just good people with kind hearts. So this is kind of like that other one that said you're an angel. That's somebody who is really special in your life, somebody who's done something really nice for you. This would be a lovely sentiment to send them. There we go. So that is the last time I'm going to use that ink pad. So I'm going to go ahead and close that up so I don't get it on anything. Now I'm going to do the unconscionable. I'm going to cut her out again. I'm going to fussy cut this little angel again. But she's very small and she is worth cutting. So let's just make quick work of her. I was kind of lollygagging the first time I was doing this fussy cutting on this little angel. I was yakking up a storm and lollygagging, and I'm in home stretch. I'm on my fourth card, and we are at just over an hour. So that kind of shows you how quick these are to put together, and what a lovely gift you could give to someone, to gift them with 2 cards they could send out during the holidays, and 2 cards they could send out to friends, family, loved ones, or even people who've done something special for you. You know, I know Jeanette was on here earlier. I'm not sure if she's still here, but she's a retired nurse. Peggy is on here. She's a retired nurse. You know, sometimes these are the kind of cards, you know, if you've been in the hospital and you've had really good care from a nurse, I mean, this is the way we feel. I mean, they are just amazing. So they make such a difference in the care of our loved ones. And so this would be a great card for someone like that. Now I'm going to put lots of dimensionals on here. So don't gasp. But I want this to stand up, and I also don't want a saggy middle, and my dimensionals in the middle are going to serve an extra what's the word I'm looking for? An extra double duty, and they're going to help hold down that little bit of ribbon. I know, it's extravagant, but you know, I want this card to, I want it, if I mail it, I want it to travel really well and look just as pristine as it did when it came off my table. So now I'm going to pop this right here, right in the center. And I'm going to pop her. This time I'm going to double. This is why, you see, if I put her over here, it was a little bit, I wanted them to be standing really close together, and that's the reason that I fussy cut her. I wanted her to be super close to the adult angel. You know, I think teachers are another one that would be really, when you get a really good teacher, they make such a difference in your life and the life of your child. A Sunday school teacher, there's a lot of people that we could share this sentiment with. Sometimes angels are just good people with kind hearts that would be really touched by a card that is this beautiful and that has such a lovely, lovely sentiment. I think I'm going to bring it right down here so they overlap just a little bit. And then, you know, I didn't do too great on these tonight, on stamping these little sentiments. You know, I stamp upside down so that it's just kind of the way my filming goes, which most of the time works okay, but sometimes when I'm doing words, it just kind of messes with my brain. Now, you might wonder why I'll have all that room, all that spare white space up there, but that is because I'm going to put a bunch of stars up there. So let's get some stars going here. 1. Come on. This is when I need my pick a tool. 2. 3. And I think that's probably all I need. Let me bump this one up just a little bit closer here. And I think we're done. So there is card number 3. I'm sorry, card number 4. Now let me show you my original and I'll show you the difference in the designer series paper. It's really just a very subtle, now that I look at it, you see in this one, my original, my pattern is going up and down. In this one, it's going sideways. So again, if you got a pack in the mail, if you got the card class in the mail, I actually cut yours correctly. I wasn't paying attention to the direction when I cut this one, but I think it honestly just works. So I think either one looks good, and I hope you like. Oh, I'm putting them too far. I'm trying to position them where you can see them. Let's see. There we go. Now you can see them both. So yeah, just simple, pretty, actually quite elegant cards. Here, once again, is my host code. And let me just pull in all 4 cards for you. And let me show you a terrific way to gift them. So there's our 2 with the little angel. And then there's the big angel here, big angel here. And here's my original without the cropped tag. And then here is our other angel. Now there should have been, oh, you know what? There should have been, you should have gotten another little gold. I just realized this one had a little gold, one of those gold hearts, not hearts, one of those little gold holly leaves, and I don't see it. There's another gold holly leaf that goes right there. Let me see if I can find it in my little box over here. You know what? I have to get up for a second anyway. Helps me to move a little bit. Let me grab a hot gold holly leaf. I think they're right here. I hope. No. Where did I move them? Okay. Well, I think they're out on my cutting table somewhere. What I want to show you is that if you wanted to gift these, this would be a great way to do it. These are our acetate card boxes, and the item number is 144628. These are a lovely way to gift your cards. Oh, I'm glad you're liking the cards. They were super fun to make and super fun to design. So let's bring this here. These acetate card boxes are really, really outstanding quality. What you want to do is you do want to kind of fold on all of the score lines so that you have a really nice crease. And then, oh, Paulina, oh, everybody's loving it. Yay, yay. Like I said, this was just, when I saw these angels in the catalog, I knew I had to have them. and I knew they would be fun to work with. So this is the acetate card box, and over here, I didn't take the time on camera to pretty up the envelopes, but you could definitely do that. It wouldn't take any time at all. I would probably stamp the little stars on them. And here's my other one. So you could put all 4 envelopes and all 4 cards into this lovely little box, and you don't even need to do anything to the box. You see how You're an Angel is on the front right there. So all you have to do is get your, well, position your ribbon just a little bit better than that because it's a little bit squashed in there. And that's it. Then you have a beautiful, beautiful gift. Again, I'm just kind of, if you kind of fold it in both directions, it gives you a really sharp crease on that clear acetate. And then you have a beautiful gift. When you think about some of your grandkids that have teachers, and well, most of them have. If they're in school still, they have teachers. Wouldn't this make a lovely teacher gift during the holidays that you could make for your grandkids, for your kids, for scout leaders, for all kinds of folks? Again, this is the acetate card box 144628. So you want to add that to your order. Again, there's my host code, and if you place an order within the next 24 hours, you will get my PDF tutorial for all 4 of these cards with all the dimensions and all of the supply list and step-by-step instructions. And the great thing about that is, although this is recorded, it's nice to have a tutorial where you can just download it, print it, and then you have it, and you don't have to keep referring to the recording. So I know that's really catching the light now, isn't it? I'm getting a lot of reflection, but well, I'm so glad that everybody enjoyed my little card making session. I'm going to come back up. Let's see. Hold steady, ladies. Let's see how this is going to work. Woo, okay. I don't think, as it turned out, that I probably needed to be plugged in the whole time, but I didn't know how long it would take me to do the cards. So I thought, well, I don't want the battery to die on me right in the middle. But this is World Card Making Day, your free class featuring the Angels of Peace stamp set. I hope you're really inspired to do some card making yourself. Maybe you were stamping right along with me. And I hope that you've enjoyed this. Remember, it is recorded. I'll also be downloading this into YouTube. Hey, Lori, I'm glad you're here. So there's a lot of variations you could do on this theme with the Angels of Peace. You could use different papers. You could do them just like I did. You could do them just like I did and add some more color to them. There's so many ways you could do these Angels of Peace cards. But I think that they're really worth doing. And you know, as it turned out, I've got myself a nice little gift here ready to go. So that is it for tonight. I am going to love you and leave you. I'm still getting card packets prepped for tomorrow. And I have my World Card Making Day class, live class here in San Antonio. And we're holding it at my church. So we have lots of room to spread out. There's tons of space. And I really appreciate my church letting me use the space. And that way everybody feels comfortable. If they want a table all to themselves, they can do that. If people want to buddy up together with their friends, they can do that. They can do whatever they feel comfortable with. And they'll get a little package with all of their card packets when they get there. And then we will just share the buckets around with the supplies. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll share those cards with you next week, the ones, totally different cards that we're doing at my live class. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. I so appreciate you hanging out with me here. Make sure that you have signed up for my email so that you find out when I'm doing classes, when I'm doing Facebook Lives, when I'm doing other kinds of events, and catch all my stamping news. So I will have the sign up for it on here with my title if you have not already signed up, and that way we can stay in touch that way as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy World Card Making Day
Take care and God bless.